So when I was 18 years old, my first job was a phone and a stack of papers, cold calling. It was cold calling companies around the city. It was really right after the great financial crisis. And I remember, showing up to work in a suit and tie. I was making like $200 a week. I was 18 years old. I was thrilled. It was so cool. I was going to see suit and tie every single day and just calling businesses. And it really taught me not to be afraid of anybody, right? Because, not to be, don't worry about how old you are. You're in a professional business that you don't know at all, but just learn, right? And slowly by slowly, I helped. I was there for about 2.5 years, and I learned really what it was to build relationships with people. So I would set appointments for the brokers, go out on those meetings with them, and I'd learn a lot. And there was so much. It was great because I was bringing them so much opportunity. And then, I decided to leave, and I actually went and got an insurance license. I couldn't pass it because I didn't know how to take a test, so it took me a little time. I got my insurance license, and then till around 22 years old, I was selling life insurance. I was a kid giving financial advice, essentially. And I was meeting, I remember really when I had a lot of confidence in myself is when I was closing CEOs of major consulting firms and CEOs of and CMOs of major companies and agents of celebrities and working with some of the biggest people, some very big people. I realized that I really built a lot of confidence in myself. Although I got pretty burnt out from the industry and I realized that this wasn't my love and my passion anymore, but I need to see what else is out there, right? So I enjoyed what I did. I loved working with businesses, right? Hence to where I got to what I'm doing today. But I knew what I loved, but I had to see what else was out there. So for a couple of years, I was really tripping. It was like, I did a couple of different jobs, different things, landed in a family business for a short period of time, and then I was stuck. And I really wasn't sure where I was going. And then really, as time went on, first and foremost, everything's from God. It's really all faith. Kept my faith strong. I had my second child on the way when everything was starting to take a turn. Joined my friend in his business, really helped grow that. We started a business together, started multiple businesses together, started investing together. And it really was a series of learning experiments, believing in myself, having optimism. Here's the thing, right? Especially when you have a family, and you're growing through the stages of life, you start to become unconfident with yourself. And during that time that I was really just not sure where my career was going, I wasn't making a lot of money. And I was starting to grow a family. I was married. I was starting to grow a family. So it was kind of depressing. And I started getting very down on myself. I got myself help. I had to figure it out. I wasn't going to sit back and I wasn't going to sit back and just let myself be depressed and be nervous all the time. It wasn't a way to live. I got myself help, got myself to a place where I instilled more confidence in myself, and it was really off to the races. So I hear this from a lot of people where their mental health is not in the right state. You're never going to get out of the quicksand if your mindset is not optimistic about getting out. You can always get out of the quicksand, but you have to believe that you can and have the strength to pull yourself out. So, mental health is a very, very big thing. I worked on that tremendously. Physical health, I worked on tremendously. And through that, that's also helped me build confidence, especially in able to take risks, because I was never a risk taker. So you learn through, there's so much different things that you can do, but learning was the biggest thing, and you really should learn and really just take a jump at certain things, but really surround yourself with the right people who can help you get to where you're looking to go.